What's going on, student athletes? My name is Coach Jacob Cabazito with Cab Training. I'm a speed and agility coach, trainer, mentor, you name it. And I'm going to bring to you guys 10 underrated tips that you guys should implement into your lives as soon as possible to ensure your success as a student athlete. But before we get started, if you guys want to become better football players or just better athletes in general, hit that subscribe button because that's what all my videos are about. And let's get better today. I call these tips underrated because I didn't want to be super cliche with this video. I wanted to bring tips to the table that you guys have probably never heard before or have heard less than others. But I will probably say something that you've probably heard before, but I'm going to try and frame it in a light where you guys can understand it the best and learn from it the best. Because I was going through it several years back when I was in high school, and I made some mistakes, and I don't want you guys to make the same. So let's get into tip number one. Tip number one is to build your confidence. The number one thing that I was missing in high school was confidence. And if I had the confidence, I would have played better. I would have trusted my skills more. I would have been able to talk to my coaches about my playing time more. I would have done a lot more to ensure my success if I was confident in my skills, confident in myself, confident in my expertise of the sport that I played. All that kind of factored in to me kind of falling short because I lacked confidence. So what you do to build that confidence is it's like a muscle. You have to continue to take yourself out of your comfort zone. You have to build good relationships with your coaches, build good relationships with your teammates, so you're more confident in talking with your teammates and coaches and more confident in your skills on the field. And that also goes with working out on your own, building your confidence in your skills on your own too. Preparation helps build that confidence as well. Number two is goal setting, and I think 95% of student athletes don't do this. And you really want to get into this now so you can be very, very good at this in your life. Goal setting, you can set goals for a month, you can set goals for 3 months, you can set goals a year out. Whatever you want to set goals for, you want to have something that you're shooting for. I almost think of it as a video game, like a progress bar. I put all my business goals, all my training goals up on the whiteboard up there in my office to show me that I'm getting there and I'm making progress and that there's a bigger picture. Like, okay, cool. My goals in high school were to get through practice and to get through the week and to get through the next game. No, it should be, I want to run for 100 yards in this game. I want to improve my 40 by 0.2 of a second this year. It's goals like that you can take action on, you can improve upon, and you can track so you guys can actually put yourself on a track towards the success that you're looking for. Tip number three is to read self-help books. And I've got one kid that I train in high school. He reads self-help books and he's all about personal development. And I think that's super important because yes, in school, you're really kind of told to read and you're told what to read. But if you go ahead and read on your own, you'll be more passionate about reading, but you have to find the right book first. And so I have two books. One of them's a journal and one of them's an actual book that I suggest that you read right away so you guys can learn and develop as a person. First one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This one's really, really good. Just read this, and that's my first recommendation. He's very, very good telling his story, helping you defy the odds and get a hold of yourself mentally and physically. Then the second book I have is the 5-Minute Journal, and this was when I was going through a rough time when I was very ungrateful and upset all the time. This actually really helps set your day up for the next day or helps you reflect on the past day. It's just a 5-minute quick little, write a couple questions in, indicate a couple things, and you'll be set. Those are two books that I recommend you guys buy right away. Number four, and I think a lot of you guys haven't heard this one before, and it's know your priorities. What do you prioritize in your high school, college experience? Do you prioritize athletics? Do you prioritize academics? Or do you prioritize partying? Do you prioritize friends? What do you prioritize? Because what you want out of your student athlete career will have a lot to do with what you prioritize. You have to have your priorities straight. If you want to go to the next level in your sports, you have to prioritize both academics and athletics first over friends, parties, you name it. So you got to make sure that you set up kind of a list. Okay, this is priority number one. I am passionate about football. I'm passionate about basketball. And then what do I need to get to the next level to get to the next level in your sport? We need to prioritize the right things so you get to where you need to go. And that goes hand in hand with goal setting. Tip number 5 is to learn more about the training aspect of your sport. And this is a next level tip, in my opinion. One of the guys that I train, he went off to college. He had a next level understanding of the training aspect of the sport. He knew how to train to improve his speed. He knew how to train to improve his arm strength. He knew how to train to do a whole number of things to improve at his sport. But you have to research. Your strength coach, if you have a strength coach at your school, probably knows a good deal about improving your performance, but you also want to look at things yourself and understand this is why we're doing these things, or this is why we shouldn't do these things. I would highly recommend looking up some different speed training books. If you have a certain sport that you play the most, go and research some books about the training aspect of those sports. But I think it's a very, very good thing to start understanding how to train for your sports so you can train on your own and you can have a good understanding of why you're doing what you're doing. And then with that knowledge of your intention when you work out, you're going to start improving a little bit more because you're going to understand. Number 6, we're going to make this quick because you've heard this from every single coach, but I could not leave it off the list, and it's to be a multi-sport athlete. Whether you're a 2-sport athlete, 3-sport athlete, it's super important to have multiple sports under your belt. If you just play football in the fall and then you sit on your butt the other 2 seasons of the year, I don't think that's a really good thing to have happen there. But if you go play basketball in the winter, you run track in the spring, wrestle in the winter, whichever one you want to do, or 2, that will make you more attractive if you're heading to the next level. And if that's what you want to do, head to the next level, being a multi-sport athlete is only going to help you. It's not going to hinder you as long as you have coaches who know what they're doing. So be a multi-sport athlete. Number 7, be recruitable. Now, what I mean by be recruitable is don't be a jerk. Don't be someone who posts crazy stuff on the internet. You've seen with athletes posting terrible stuff on the internet or just misguided opinions on the internet, where that gets them. And imagine you who is not making money doing what they do, but you want to end up going to the next level to play. Imagine if you post something like that. You're going to ruin your opportunities. And if you really want to go up to that next level, you can't ruin your opportunities by being a jerk on social media or even in person as well. If your coaches, if they're really helping you out, they're going to tell the truth about you to college recruiters. So make sure you're recruitable. Make a good Twitter account that's just geared towards your athletics and promoting yourself as an athlete. And use Instagram and use Snapchat responsibly. I feel like Snapchat is probably the most toxic social media. So use your social media responsibly so you can be recruitable. Number 8, this is a different one, and I'm going to find a good way to word this one, but you want to have friends in different spheres. You want to have athletic friends. You want to have friends from your team that you can go and train with and then you can learn from or teach. You want to have academic friends where if you're struggling with academics, you can get help from them, or you can be around that culture of people that takes their academics seriously. And so you have a couple groups of friends where you've got guys who are serious about their athletics, and then you got guys who are serious about their academics. And if you draw from both of those groups of friends, you can have a really good outcome in the end. Or you could just find some athletic academic friends and ride with them, and you guys can be overachievers on your own. But the main idea of this tip is you are who you hang out with. If you start hanging around sus people, you're going to have sus results, and you're not going to be drawn towards the goals that you ultimately want. Make sure that you guys have the right friends that you are surrounding yourselves with so you guys can achieve the goals you want to achieve. Number 9, have good habits. Your career is not going to be built off of motivation. It's going to be built off of habits. Habits last longer than motivation. Motivation is fleeting, and you want to make sure that you have the right habits in place so you can continue to build day in and day out towards what you're shooting for. So if you're shooting for a college scholarship and you need to train on your speed 3 times a week, you need to make it a habit to train your speed 3 times a week on your own so you can get that college scholarship. If you need to get your grades up in algebra, you need to make it a habit to study 15 minutes a day on algebra, either with a friend or on your own. Little actions consistently is going to really help you stack days and get you to where you want to be. Last but certainly not least, this is the most important tip on this list in my opinion, and the reason I made this list in the first place. Number 10 is to define yourself. You need to know who you are. You need to stay true to who you are. You need to not deviate from who you are. Define yourself as a student athlete looking for success. If you're watching this video, you definitely want to find success as a student athlete, whether it's to go to the next level, whether it's to earn an athletic scholarship, earn an academic scholarship, go on to play professional if you're a college athlete, or go on to have an incredible job and an incredible degree if you're a college athlete. You need to make sure that you define who you are, know who you want to be. If you want to be a partier, go ahead and define yourself as a partier. But if you want to be a successful student athlete, you have to have the decision making, the mindset, and just the overall personality to be a successful student athlete. And so you have to make that decision now to define yourself and who you want to be. It's super important to know who you are and then guide your decision making and guide your mindset with that identity that you give yourself. So will a student athlete go to a party, or will a student athlete watch film and prepare for their next game? It's little decisions that you need to make that will end up defining you as a person. And so you ultimately play the role in defining yourself. No one else does. And that's the number one tip that I have for you guys today. And if you liked this video and you guys got value out of this video, hit the subscribe button. There's a lot of drills and more short form videos where I work on speed, agility, quickness, footwork, all that stuff, and it's geared more towards football players. But if you're a player of another sport, give me a suggestion down below in the comments section which you want to see next. But I greatly appreciate you guys watching this and sticking around. Hit that like button if it gave you value, and let's get better today.